If you've ever considered having a career in transformation, whether that's part-time or full-time, or just honestly transforming yourself at a very deep level, today's call is going to be amazing. We might get a little bit of a hypnosis experience ourselves, and I'm going to make sure to answer all of your questions. So awesome to see everybody here. We even have an Athens, Greece. We've got Finland, UK, Maryland. So without any further ado, let's get into it with Marissa. So Marissa, can you tell everybody here that original story of how you actually learned hypnotherapy, that first class you went and taught or went and learned from?
Yeah, boy. Yeah. So I was in London and I found a hypnotherapist, and it was so cool what he did. And he just completely cured me of eating sugar forever. And I was so fascinated by it. I thought, wow. And then I never, ever take the tube ever, but happened to get on the tube one day and they had this free magazine on the seat and it was open at this hypnosis weekend. So I went to this hypnosis weekend with a guy called Mervyn. It was all about how to manage pain. And he talked about this guy called Gil Boyne. And I thought, I have to find Gil Boyne, because by then I thought, I'm going to be a hypnotist. I want to be a hypnotist, because I was so impressed with what it could do. So I went off to LA and I couldn't find this guy, Gil Boyne. I rang everywhere because, of course, LA is a big place. I don't know whereabouts in California he even was. And then I rang one number and he answered. He went, oh, hey, this is Gil Boyne. And I said, I really want to come on your course. I do one a year and it starts on Monday and there's one place left. It was really like the stars were aligning to send me to hypnosis. So on the Monday I got up and drove to Burbank, where it was. And I thought, oh, I don't know. Luckily, I hadn't paid yet. I had my credit card in my pocket. He said, do you want to pay? I said, no, I'll pay at lunchtime. And I thought, no, if I don't like it, I'm just going to go home. But by lunchtime, I was just absolutely hooked. I just was utterly in love with it. I found it the most compelling course. I actually, at the time, was living with two roommates. One was bulimic, one was anorexic. So that was really lucky because I practiced on both of them, particularly the anorexic one. It was all to do with her relationship with her dad and wanting to stay a little girl, because when he left her, she felt if she stayed that pretty little girl, he might come back. And so I began this amazing career, but it was all in a way. I always think, you think you're going over there, but actually you end up going over there and round there. And I just loved working as a hypnotherapist. I was working for Jane Fonda at the time too, which was very useful because I got all my clients pretty much straight out of her classes. And it just was an amazing, I started off training with Jane and I got a second. I thought, well, this is great. I worked for Jane all day as a personal trainer in her workout studio in South Robertson. I thought, well, this is amazing because I can take all the people that need help straight up, and they're all anorexic, bulimic, body dysmorphic, relationship problems, and I can work with them all in the evening. But as it happened, I got so busy, I very quickly had to give that up, and just became all my time was taken being a straight out hypnotherapist. But then somebody in one of her studios, because of course Jane is so connected, said, hey, could you appear on this show? It was called Big Brother. Could you be the therapist on the show? And I'm like, sure. And then I was on another show called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, super size, super skinny. So I went from being a therapist, which I loved. I could have just done that every day for the rest of my life. I didn't need to do anything else. But it was actually really cool being a hypnotherapist on television. I was on Celebrity Fit Club, for MTV. And then because I had such an audience by then, I decided I should write some books. So I wrote one book. I didn't think I could ever write another, but I've written 7 now. And then I began teaching people because we're really okay, hey, I've heard about you, my friend, but, I'm in Alabama or I'm in Atlanta or I'm in New Zealand. And where are you? I said, well, I'm in England and LA, and that's it. So then I began to train people. And now it's an amazing world, from being a hypnotherapist to being a hypnotherapist trainer and a writer and a speaker. It's I think it's just the best job in the world.
Yeah, so I have a question about that very first hypnosis experience that you had that sort of started you on this path to, eventually becoming trained. You said that the hypnosis that you had was to help you stop eating sugar. So kind of what was happening that made you compelled to go and try hypnosis? Like how intense was that?
I'd met someone who just stopped smoking with hypnosis with the same person. His name was Dr. Brian Rowe. We actually became great friends. He's written a couple of books too. And he just said, I went in, I don't know what he did, but I came out and I never smoked again. And sugar, as you know, is as addictive as cocaine. It affects parts of the brain. And so you don't even need to know why you're addicted to sugar. It's like if you sniff paint every day for a month, you'll start to crave paint. If you drink coffee every day, you become, so many substances are addictive. They work with our physiology. We now know that when you're on your phone all the time, it's actually making you addicted to your phone. So you don't always have to go back and find out, why am I addicted to sugar? Why am I addicted to coffee? Why am I addicted to cigarettes? You don't have to go back and find out why, because it isn't some deep, dark, mysterious thing. When you're a baby, you're given a food that's half fat, half sugar, and it solves all your problems. You're lonely, you're sad, you're crying, you're tearful. And so he just stopped me eating sugar completely. And it was so effective. And I've done that for many, many, many others too. Helped many, many people also stop eating sugar, stop smoking cigarettes, stop drinking. Hypnosis works in a way that you go back to scenes to find out why. But sometimes you don't need to. If somebody came in and say, hey, could you hypnotize me? I mean, I hypnotized myself to give birth. I didn't go back to any scenes. I just told my mind every day, giving birth is easy. My body's going to push out that baby and I'm going to be super chilled. And if you tell yourself that, it really, really helps, because how the mind works is your mind is designed to do what you tell it to do. And so, and we think that can't be true. But if you think of it this way, if you think of something sad, your eyes will fill up with tears. If you think of something embarrassing, you might go bright red. If you think of hunger, your tummy will rumble. So when you think a thought, your body starts to make it real. The most common example of that is when you think about neuroplasticity. You think a thought, and your body, what you think about a drug has more of an effect than what's in the drug. So every day you're already thinking a thought, and your body is working on that thought and making it real. When you're doing hypnosis, you understand that your body is run by a network of intelligence, which is fully influenced by your mind. And if you can get into that network of intelligence, you can influence your mind, which influences your body. And so it's all about going into a state where you can give yourself different suggestions, and it really, really works.
Yeah. And so what I've come to understand about hypnosis in this, what you're referencing, this network of intelligence or subconscious, is we all have sort of pre-programmed thoughts, right? That are just running all the time. So we've got thoughts every day. If you're watching, put in the comments right now, like, what are some of just the baseline thoughts that run through your brain? So, for me, when I wake up in the morning, it might be like, I'm tired. And maybe that's like an everyday thing that happens, is I'm tired. And for me, that's the reality. Like, I wake up most days and I think I'm tired. And then the next thing that I say is, actually, I'm not tired. I'm super excited for the day. And so that's like one of the very first things that happens every day to me, most days at least. I'd say 9 out of 10. So what are some of the thoughts that run through your guys' head throughout the day? Maybe another one is, I'm hungry. At some point I'm like, oh, wow, I haven't eaten. I'm really hungry. And I'll go through, because I've talked to Marissa so much, and I'll reframe that. And I'll be like, okay, I just heard and felt like the thought of I'm hungry. And I'll immediately go to, oh, I could really use some nutrition, but it's okay if I don't eat as well. Like, I will get really good nutrition. I won't just eat anything that comes in front of me. I'll wait until something's really great for me. So here's some thoughts that people are having. Excited to learn. What a beautiful thought to have on a daily basis. I need something. Yeah. So, Marissa talks a lot about this, like people that have the wanting, like there's always this sort of trying to fill something inside. What am I going to do with the rest of my life? What a beautiful, beautiful question to ask yourself. That's a really high level question. Marissa, when someone asks a question like that, what do I do with the rest of my life? What would you say to that?
I would say find out what you love. Find out what you love to do between the key age of 7 and 14 or 5 and 15, because you can only really be good doing what you love. It's very hard to be really successful doing something you hate. And even if you pull it off, you'll pay a tremendous price. So if you go back and think about what did you love, what gave you joy, what sparked you at those key ages, that is a key indicator of your unique skill set. So for instance, I was always writing stories, and now here I'm a writer. My daughter was always making clothes out of Kleenex for her dolls, and now she has her own fashion line. So when I was always doing puzzles, and here I'm a strategist. Jo Malone was always making perfume from flower petals. So you need to know what your unique skill set is, because even though you don't know it, everyone here has a gift. You have a unique gift, and you're here to find out what your gift is, and then to monetize it, to market it, to be amazing at it. And your unique gift might maybe teaching. It doesn't mean you have to really go high level and go, I just want to make millions of dollars, because that's not everyone's dream. Your dream may be to work with children. Your dream may be to be a painter, or it may be to help people like me and to be a therapist. Because if your dream is to change the world, well, that's the fastest way to change the world, is to change people one heart, one soul at a time, because that's how you change the world. But when you say, why am I here? Everyone says, why am I here? To find a person, have children. Doesn't everyone do that? Yeah, and as wonderful as that is, and it is wonderful, you're also here to find out your gift. It's important to understand this. You were given a gift, and the universe that gave you that gift will support you 1,000,000% in knowing what to do with it. Where do you go with that gift? I mean, imagine if, I don't know, Eminem had been a plumber, or J-Lo or Beyonce had been a nail technician. What a waste. So, we're given a gift. If Whitney Houston had been a hairdresser, we'd all have missed out, because when you're given a gift, you're supposed to share that gift. And the whole purpose of life is find out what you're meant to do and then share it with everyone. You could share it for a fee, but it's still what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. What are some of the gifts that you think someone that is destined to become an incredible hypnotherapist, what are some of the gifts that those people might have?
Many people are already doing therapy. You find them at a party, they're always in a corner talking to someone. They're always giving people advice. A lot of people say, a lot of hairdressers and beauticians and receptionists, people talk to me, they tell me all their problems all the time. So people always come to you and tell you their problems. That's a sign. If you love people, if people's stories fascinate you, intrigue you, that's a sign. The biggest thing is liking people. That's the only skill we really look for. Everything else you can learn about being a therapist, you can be taught everything. Even you can learn to develop intuition and instinct. But people skills, we love you to have those, because if you like people and like helping them, then you have everything in you to be an amazing therapist already. You just need to learn how to use those existing skills.
Yeah. And then, something to underline that you said earlier about this network of intelligence, this subconscious mind that's always running. The beautiful part about hypnosis is when we think of, like, let's say as an example, a doctor who prescribes pain medications. I don't know exactly what that's called in different countries, but if you go to that doctor and you have any sort of complaint, their job is to prescribe you a very particular pain medication that will work for your complaint, because that is their specialty, right?
Yeah.
Hypnosis. So you kind of think like, oh, if someone has a hammer, everything is a nail, right?
Yes.
Well, the beautiful part about hypnosis as the tool of choice for a hypnotherapist is that it's really sort of a whole tool belt of things based on the symptom that someone's coming in with. And so a very well-trained hypnosis that goes through this program is able to work with people with almost any symptom that they present with. And the goal, and what's very successful for our hypnotherapists, is to be able to alleviate the symptom, the stress, the pressure, the pain of that person in 1, 2, 3 sessions. I mean, it is a very rapid thing. Like you said, you came in having this issue with sugar, and then in one session, you just left and you were like, oh my gosh, I just don't need it anymore. And the interesting part about that is a lot of people would say that you needed the sugar for physiological reasons, or maybe you had a yeast infection, or all these physiological things. And maybe that was true, but the mind and its ability to change was able to get you onto a different path very, very quickly. And so I'm seeing some questions in the comments here of people asking, like, maybe they can't change their career because it's too late in life, or, they're not able to like change their path so dramatically. And other people are asking, like, they really need more clarity, and that's what they're here for. And what would you say to those?
It's never too late to change your career. Some of the most amazing writers began to write in their 80s. I can think of quite a couple of famous writers and famous people who came to their career very late. The guy who played Martin in Frasier came to acting at 55 years old. That was his first part. He did so well, he never had to act again. But after that, he went onto stage. He didn't need the money anymore. But I think often we spend our 20s trying to find out who we are, our 30s trying to find out someone to share our life with, and then raising children. It takes until 40 to think, okay, I've done that. What do I want? Who am I? What do I want to do with my life? And the great thing about hypnotherapy is you can do it with an existing career. We have many personal trainers, yoga teachers, Reiki people, massage therapists, even teachers. I'm doing this as well. I'm doing this in addition to. So it doesn't even have to be your whole career. You can have two careers. I was working with a driving instructor, and he said, it's so weird. One of your students came in and she hypnotized every person I was teaching to pass their driving test. I thought, I think I'd rather be the hypnotist than the driving. And so I gave up being a driving instructor, and I came and trained with you because you put the success of my school up so high that I sold it. And I much prefer to be a hypnotist, which I love. In fact, I hypnotized a writer once with writer's block. He was quite famous, and he said the same thing. Actually, I now want to be a hypnotherapist. I thought, well, if I'm hypnotizing him to write with his writer's block, I should write. So we both actually, I took on his career and he took on mine, but I still kept my existing career. He still kept on his. But it's a great thing being a hypnotist. You can do it for everything, because often what you'll find is a client, what we call the presenting problem. Here's my problem. It's often not the problem at all. My problem is, I can't ask for what I want. My problem is I keep dating idiots. My problem is, and really, because they have low self-esteem, that's the issue they're bringing in to see you with is not the issue. So we have what we call ear prick up moments. We're always looking for what's the real problem. This really isn't the real problem, is it? Years ago, this girl said to me, hey, this is my problem. What is it? She said, I want to get with my brother's boyfriend. And I said, well, I think you need a better problem than that. I said, well, I think why do you want to be with your brother's boyfriend? How would that ever work out? He's bisexual. Now you've got twice the chance of being dumped, but he's probably gay. He's dating your brother. How is that going to be every Sunday lunch when you've managed to entice him away? And your problem is insecurity, because you must be insecure if you think the only way to be happy is to get a gay guy to become a straight guy, to think, he loved me so much. That's how lovable I am. I could even entice away someone who's not even attracted to women. So in talking to her, I realized that her problem wasn't her problem. Her problem was not how to get with her brother's boyfriend. Her problem is, why have I got such low self-esteem? What happened? And I say to a lot of my clients, I never say what's wrong with you. I say, what happened to you? And what happened to me is this happened to me. People will say things like, my mum was never there, but she came in every day with chocolate. Classic thing. My parents used to go to the pub every Saturday, or the bar, and they'd always come home with bottles of Coca-Cola and packets of potato chips. Now, when I'm sad, all I want is Coca-Cola and potato chips, because the mind learned that was a big treat. And the mind always goes back to what something means. So if there's a food that you simply can't eat, like, I don't know, rice pudding or undercooked eggs, it's often because you were made to eat them at school. You'll find certain songs go, oh, that song reminds me of something, or certain smells, but the mind will go back to what something means. And hypnotherapists are really good at finding out what is the meaning this thing has meant to you. I worked with a girl who was eating 20 packets of mints a day. 20 packets is a lot. And she told me that her mother was a bus conductress and always had mints in her bag. And the mum was very busy and she was left alone. But whenever the mother would come in, she'd give her a couple of her peppermints. It was a very bonding thing. You've been good, let's share some mints. And when the mother died, she began to buy packets and packets of these peppermints, because she was trying to keep her mother's memory alive by eating the exact candy that her mother gave her on special occasions or at the weekend. So it's really interesting how the mind does that. That reminds me. My gran used to make that. Another of my clients said that she only saw her father once a month, and he always went out for a burger and milkshakes. And whenever she was sad, she could only eat burgers and milkshakes, because we keep the memory alive in smells, in words, in food, in things. And it's so interesting to realize what people are doing. Oh, you're trying to keep your dad alive, but he isn't in a milkshake. He's not in a burger, but you can say, my dad loved me. Once a month, we went out for this burger and it was so lovely. And I can remember him every day. I don't really need to have the burger and the milkshake. I can just have the memory. You know, I worked with someone who, when her mother died, she was making cupcakes with frosting every day and eating so much frosting. I'm like, your mother is not in the frosting. That would be an insight if your mother could be replaced by a bit of frosting. In Europe, it's called icing. But, you know, she's not in the icing. She's not in there. She's in you. And often just that reassuring affirmation that you cannot find your mother in a cupcake and some icing, but you can find her in your memory, stops people doing what they think is crazy. What's wrong with them? I'm now making all this icing, eating so much icing, feeling sick. My blood sugar's gone up. Oh, I didn't even make the link between my mother dying and me going back and doing the thing that she made every birthday. She made me a cake. It was a big thing. And I'm making the cake to try and keep the memory, but we can keep memories anytime we like.
Yeah. And, you know, something I'm seeing in the comments here too is people are wondering, like, this question of like when to be able to become a hypnotherapist, and can I do it at a certain age? And, you know, it's interesting because I've heard you talk about this a lot. On the younger side of people who become a hypnotherapist, they have so much time to develop their skills and to have these experiences with clients, because that'll make them better and better. Every client teaches you. But if you're on the like older side and you want to do this as a career, the older you get, the more you relate to everybody, right?
Yeah, and you have
someone who's
wisdom.
22. Yeah, you have that life experience and that wisdom where you can really empathize.
If you're really young and you're going into this business, like 25, you should work with 25-year-olds, because they want someone young and relevant and go, oh, you're my age and you know so much stuff. So if you're young, stick to the young people, because they love someone their own age. You can understand them. And if you're older, well, you're so lucky. It's one of the rare jobs, and indeed it is rare, where the older you are, the more wise you're seen. People say, oh, you're so wise. I like having an old therapist. They know so much. They've seen a lot. They've seen everything, heard everything. They'll never judge me because they've heard everything. So for women especially, there are very few jobs where the older you get, the more esteem you are held in. But therapy is certainly one of them. But you learn how to fix yourself too. You know, it would be odd if a therapist said, hey, I've got loads of problems. I can't stop smoking, can't stop drinking, can't stop eating cake. I wake up depressed. I can't motivate myself. I just watch TV all day, because you have all the tools to motivate others. But when you're doing the training and you're on the practice regimen, you give people to work with that means every week at least, you're not only becoming a therapist, you're becoming a client, so someone else can be the therapist. And you're not playing at it, you're actually practicing a lot of sessions. So you get a lot of time to work on your own issues, whether it's procrastination or self-sabotage or lack of confidence or low self-esteem. As you go through the course and learn to help others, you can't really do this amazing work without also helping yourself. When you're in business of changing others, the great news is it changes you as well. And that really is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. And you'll be able to work with these beliefs. So again, like the beliefs that everyone shared in the chat, maybe if you guys want to share some more, what are some other beliefs that you currently have that you feel like would prevent you from being successful? What are the beliefs that you have right now that you're like, you know, this just isn't for me. Like, I love it, but I'm having like some blocks and I don't think I could do this successfully. What are some of the things? I'm not good enough. I believe I can't travel. That's an interesting one. It's too saturated of a market. Like, there's not enough people with mental health issues or challenging beliefs.
Actually, that's not true, because at the moment, there's not enough therapists all over the Western world. They have more patients. They haven't got enough therapists. This in America, in the UK, in Australia, in Europe, in all of those countries, we have not got enough therapists, because we now got what we call permacrisis. We've got the war in Ukraine, we've got COVID, we've got the credit crunch, we've got all these things. And actually, for the first time, they're saying there are not enough therapists to help all these people that desperately, and all these kids who've been homeschooled and don't know how to socialize, now have social anxiety. We've got so many new issues coming up, OCD, social anxiety, since COVID, that we need more therapists. And it is a busy market, but here's the thing, the top 20% in every classification are always busy, no matter what is going on in the world. In COVID, I was busier than ever. We trained more therapists. We had more people coming online for therapy than ever before. Is that because they're at home and not working and had the time for therapy? I don't know, but we were busier than ever. So if you're good, doesn't matter about the competition, you will always be good, and you'll always be busy, and you'll always be booked because you're good.
And how does someone become good? What is becoming a good hypnotherapist or the best hypnotherapist? What could someone, what should they be like?
I think for me, it's having a heart for it. I think loving it makes you good. I think if you love being a therapist, if you really enjoy it, like I do, for me, every client is like a movie. I'm watching a movie. I'm hearing the stories of their life, starting at the beginning, when they were born, what happened when they were 3 or 5 or 9 or 20 or 25. And as I'm sharing the story of their life with them, I know that the day they see me is the day that book changes, the chapters change. The rest of that story is going to be so different because that client sought me or somebody I trained. And so it's really fascinating. I love it. And I've been doing it my entire adult life since I was 24. It's a long time ago now. But I've never been bored with it. I still wake up. It still excites me. I still look forward to it. I think, oh God, another client. It's a great job that I love it as much now as when I started. And I love the fact that people change, and you see that, you see people sitting in the chair like that. When they leave, they're like that. They smile, their face lights up, their voice, everything changes. They write to me and say, wow, you've changed my whole life. I found love. I lost half my body weight. I stopped smoking. I've got confidence. I stopped shouting at my kids. The feedback is so lovely. So you see clients and you see the difference in them. In the first session, you see different people. They even look different. I was doing a course in London and we had a camera crew there. And there was a girl who came in on day 1 and she was I think I'm going to say the word browbeaten. And I asked my camera on day 5 to find her and to get her to tell her story, testimony. He said, I can't find her. And I said, she's there. And he said, where? And he said, that's not the same person. I said, no, that's her. So she came in wearing a sari, which is perfectly okay. But the next day she came in wearing black jeans, a black polo neck sweater. She'd blown her hair up, put some makeup on. Honestly, if I'd not known it, I wouldn't have recognized her myself. And we have online classes. People come on, you have all these little squares on the thing. Then I did the one there. I said, who is that girl? I didn't know who this girl was. Another person we'd worked with who looked so different. So you see it on the first session, and then you get feedback from them. They send you cards or letters or texts or emails. And it's just such a lovely thing to help people at that level and to help everyone around them. And it gives you such a sense of satisfaction. Most people, if you want a career that gives you satisfaction, that where you feel you're growing, contributing, making a difference, where you have meaning and purpose. There's already 6 things. Where you have connection and you feel significant, that's already 8 things. And a bit of diversity, that's 9. And there are not many jobs that give you all of those things every single day, but hypnotherapy does. You have meaning, you have purpose, you feel significant, you make a difference, you help people grow, you contribute to society by stopping kids being bullied, or indeed you stop the bully. You certainly have significance, and every day is different. So it's great to have one job that gives you so much. And because it gives you so much, allows you to give as well. You give a lot, but you get so much back.
If you've had an experience with hypnosis, some experience with hypnotherapy, with Marissa, even with RTT, go ahead and put it in the chat. Like, what was that experience like? What's your experience been with hypnosis in the past, especially if it's been through maybe one of our YouTube clips, or you've done one of Marissa's recorded hypnosis experiences. I'm really curious. Someone says they used hypnosis in their own pregnancy. And Marissa, I know you've used hypnosis for like everything in your life. You've hypnotized yourself to do so many things, including be a successful author, have Phaedra, your daughter, just so many things, have an incredible life in so many different ways. But I'm wondering right now, I want to give people one of two options for this experience, this live experience of a hypnosis. Number one, I've seen a lot of comments about people with their own personal feelings and their beliefs around money and their financial limitations or their ability to generate income if they were to become a hypnotherapist. And I want to sort of have everybody check in the audience right now and say, if you just think, or if you just hear me say the word money, what is the feeling that is sort of conjured up inside of you? What's the feeling around that? You don't have to necessarily share in the chat, but I want you to just see what that feels like right now before this experience, before Marissa does something with us. And I also want to invite you, if you have a beautiful feeling around money already, what's something else, maybe something you've put in the chat that you'd like to work on, that you'd like to have a change with right now? If you'd like to have a change in the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, what would that change be? What's the thing that you'd like to work on? But if you don't have a particular thing, let's just say money in general. We can do a little before and after snapshot of a short experience with Marissa where she can run us through a hypnosis, so you can just see how effective this can be in a very, very short amount of time. I'm seeing, beautiful. Star Moon says, I have a really beautiful and good feeling when hearing the word money. That's wonderful. So pick some belief, pick something, and make sure you tune in before we do this and really feel what that feels like so you can see what it's like before and after this. So Marissa, if you could just walk us through a short exercise to begin to accelerate and amplify our relationship with money, but really our relationship with whatever belief we're kind of looking at right now.
Okay, so first of all, I want you to write down here a negative belief about money. Like, we've all heard this, money doesn't grow on trees. I don't know where the money's coming from. I can't find the money. Imagine being a parent saying to your kid, I can't find the money. That's infinitely confusing to a child because no one says, hey, I've got to pay my bill. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to look at the floor and I'm going to find the money while I'm out to pay the bill. We never find money. We monetize a talent. But I want you to type right now in here, anything negative. I'm not made of money. Do I look like a bank? Do you have a dad going, switch the lights off? Do you think I'm made of money? I can't afford this heating. Stop running the bath, blah, blah, blah. Did they worry about gas money all the time? And let me just have a look at what's coming. And people with money are greedy. People say, it says in the Bible, the love of money is the root of all evil, but it doesn't. It says the love of money at the expense of everything else is the root of all evil. And in fact, it says the meek will inherit the earth, but meek is an Aramaic word, a biblical word that means very spiritual. So money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. We don't have loads of money. We can't afford that. I can't afford to live. Money isn't important. Never enough money. Money is dirty. Imagine going through life with that belief. Money is dirty because you can do so many things with money. And the more money you have and the more good stuff you get. And, I've met many clients so immensely. Last year, my daughter got married. The person where she got married is so wealthy. He started off being a realtor, made so much money, had so much what to do with it. So he rewilded massive swathes of the English countryside. And that's a great thing. He's got bees and butterflies and all kinds of insects. And he's rewilding because he said, well, what else can I do with my money? I've got so much. He's got helicopters and planes and boats and houses. So actually, some people have so much, and they actually then become spiritual, like Oprah Winfrey has opened children's schools. Madonna's opened orphanages. Shakira rescues dogs all over the world. Many people who have money will do actually very good things with it. So if it was dirty, all those people who are being educated because someone else got the money to pay for their education. I fund a whole orphanage in Zimbabwe. It's very easy for me because I have the money, and it's such a great thing to say to somebody, I'll pay for you to go to school. I want to do that. But imagine if I thought money was dirty and I was rejecting it. A fool and his money are easily parted. My dad used to say that. So let's do something else. I want you to type in the very same thing you just taught, but I want you to switch the word money for energy. Energy is dirty. A fool and his energy are easily parted. Those people with energy, they sold their soul to the devil. So type it in again, but just put in the word energy. As weird as that sounds, put in the word energy. I'm no good with energy. Energy slips through my fingers. I don't know where the energy's coming from. I run out of energy before I run out of week. And then let's do something else. Just take a look at that and realize that, because that's what money is. It's just an exchange. Years ago, we used to go, okay, I've got some hay, and I'm going to change the hay because I want some eggs. But by the time I've waited for the eggs, the hay is rotted, or maybe. So we realized that we couldn't exchange things. I'm going to trade my cow for these crops, but now the crops have rotted. I didn't do it right. So we started to create money instead of products, because products had a shelf life. They would go off and say, no, I don't want that. I want something else. And now I can't get it. But before it's just a way of trading. It's nothing more than a way of trading. So take it all the dirty, evil, bad. It actually is something that was invented to make trading easier. And I still occasionally trade. People say to me, hey, I traded with a gardener. I gave them a session, they did my garden. It was amazing. I love trading. Because say, hey, I'd love to trade you something for something. And it's a great thing to do. And even if I was to give someone a free session, I tend to get them to trade a little something, because I want them to invest, because the more they're investing, the more they value it. So now I want you to do something else. I want you to imagine, are you a giver or a taker? Most of you are probably givers. Givers are like really good at giving. I saw someone here say, I've been doing therapy for 30 years, but I can't charge for it. I don't think it's right today. Spiritual people shouldn't take money. They should just give. And you're a giver. So I want you to know if you're a giver or a taker. It's okay to be a taker. Some people are, they go, I haven't got enough. I've got to hold it really tight. I can't tip because I haven't got enough money. I can't spend it. I'm just keeping it all. So let's practice what being a giver is. Just breathe in, hold your breath. And now I want you to give that breath away for 4 minutes. I want you to just exhale, inhale, just keep giving. I want you to be a real proper giver. Give every breath you've got away and keep giving. Give more, much more. Give it all to everyone else on this. Even though they can't see, imagine you're giving all your air to other people, because after all, they probably need it more than you. Just give it all away. Keep giving. I want you to keep giving that breath away until it feels really uncomfortable, even slightly painful. We're only a minute in, we've got 3 left. But when you can't stand it anymore, I want you to take a breath. But now I want you to be a taker. I want you to, for 4 minutes, just keep inhaling, take all the air and keep it all, because you never know when you might need it. So take all the air and hold it. Keep it in your body. It's very important. Don't share it. Don't give it away. Just hold that breath. Keep taking, take more. Take everyone else's air out of the room. Take even more. Keep taking, taking, taking. And again, you know you can do this for 4 minutes. Take even more breath and hold it more. And keep holding that breath until it also feels really uncomfortable. And actually, guess what? Unnatural. And now just give that breath away. And try and give a breath away without taking one back. Or try to take a breath without giving one back, which is not possible, by the way. Yes, I did mean literally hold your breath for 4 minutes, but I decided we don't need to do it for 4 minutes. You get the gist. You cannot take a breath without giving one away. And you can't give a breath without taking one back. It's impossible, because nature requires balance. You give and receive breath. And just as natural as you give and receive a breath, you should be doing this. I'm giving of my talent. And I'm receiving a great salary of this. I'm giving of my gifts, of my talent, of my training. I give that. And I receive back a really wonderful paycheck. I'm very well rewarded for my skill set. That's what giving and receiving is. Giving, receiving. Take a breath, give one. Give a breath, take one. And so just givers have no balance, because they give and give and give until they've got nothing left to give. And they never replenish. And takers take and take and take, but they never get to it. It's the joy of giving. When you're giving, you do get some joy, but not if it's at your expense. So you have to learn that when you were born, the first thing you did when you came onto the planet was to take a breath and immediately give one away. And you never stop doing that. And so we just have to learn, okay, I can say I give of my heart. I give of myself. Like, my heart is open to give. My hands are open to receive. Many years ago, I always said, hey, my brother, this was a very wealthy banker. My brother can't swallow food. He's got a real problem and he can't swallow. So he just eats smoothies all day. He's got a real thing about swallowing. Would you see him? So he came in. I did a session. It was all to do with a mother who was crazy. And off he went. And I never heard from him again. And I asked his brother, he said, he didn't want to call you because you didn't charge him. And he felt so obligated. He didn't even think he could ring you and tell you what happened. He wanted to come back and have a session, but because you gave it to him for nothing, he felt embarrassed and uncomfortable. And you should have actually made him pay something. So the next time that happened with someone else who was a friend's sibling, I said, look, just pay whatever you want to pay. I don't really mind. This is my bank account. Pay whatever you want to pay. I'm putting that into a fund for people who can't afford therapy. So it's entirely up to you. And I think he almost paid my full fee. I didn't tell him what it was, because I realized that it's also when you give something away for nothing, it doesn't have any value. So people go to car booths, says, how much is that? $1. Oh, no, it's too cheap. We can't value what we don't invest in. When we invest in ourselves, we value it more. So when people come in, even if they're saving up for a session, they actually value it more because they are investing in themselves. I know that to be true because many years ago, it's not CNN. Who's the big computers that have C in the word? You'd know, Skip, being a computer person. Anyway, Canon, I think it was Canon. They suddenly banned smoking in England very quickly. And they said, hey, could we send in all our staff to stop smoking? We're going to pay. They will know. They just make an appointment, come to you, and you stop them smoking. And my success rate actually went down. I was really shocked. It's like, well, what is happening here? I had to look at that. Why is it not working for Canon when it works so much? It was always in the 90s. Then I realized, oh, of course, none of the people are paying. It doesn't matter if it works. It's like, I'll go and see that Marissa. Have an afternoon off work. The company's paying. It doesn't matter if it works or not. They had no skin in the game, no interest in it. So I said, okay, well, we have to do it differently. They have to pay, and you refund them after a year. And if it doesn't work, you don't refund them. They have to come because they got to stop smoking, and you offer to refund them all their money within a year. But if they don't do it, or if they start smoking, they don't get any refund. And the minute we did that, the results went up again. Because people like what they invest in. They go, I paid for that, so I'm going to get every bit of value. I paid for that. Do you know, I'm going to go every day. I did that once. I bought a 10-day Pilates pass. And I thought, I'm going every day for 10 days because I paid for 10 days. I'm not going to go once or twice. I'm going to get real value. These 10 days are a great deal. I'm going every day to get my money's worth because people value that. And so you have to value yourself. And when you're talking about money as a therapist, you don't have to say money. You can say the investment to work with me, the investment in a session is we try to use words that aren't money. The investment for a course of session is, and the investment for one session is this, and this is what you get for your investment. You get this, and this. People say, so what do you get? So you get a 90-minute session, you get a recording of that session, you get an email ability to contact me or text me. We can set up calls to discover your progress. So I gave a list of, because he's, how much is it? I told him. And then he went, well, what do I get for that? And I made the list longer. He went, oh yeah, that's actually great value. So I'm coming, I'll take it. And it wasn't cheap at all. But because I listed all, I didn't just say it's the sessions, you get this and you get this and you get this. And he came and he was delighted. So we teach you when you're being a therapist how to very skillfully talk about clients investing in themselves, the return on their investment. They want to know what that is.
Yeah. So
you're investing in training, so you want a return on that too.
Yeah. So someone asked a question that I'll give a really great answer to here, which is, how do you get them to see value in what you give? And the answer is not to see value in what you give. The answer is for them to see value in the symptom or the thing that they're coming to you with and what the resolution would be worth to them.
Yeah. I have to say to people at the end of a session, if you're at an auction and you were bidding for this session, what would you pay there? I'd have paid everything I've got. You know, I never say how much, but I said, if you had to bid for this at an auction, there's a session with me, and you've just seen what it's done for you, what would you bid? They go, I'd keep bidding till I got it. I'd mortgage my house for that, which is a lovely thing. Someone just put here that even in pharmacy, people prefer drugs of high cost. They're cynical of the cheap drugs. They think, well, they can't work, they're too cheap, which is a shame. So you have to see the value in what you do, and also see the value in, so what are you going to do in this hour? Well, how long have you had this problem? Well, I've been binging on cake for 45 years. How's that? Well, my teeth, my skin, my weight, my body, my self-esteem. And what would it look like if you didn't have that? It would look like this. And what would you pay for that? What would it mean to you if you had that? So you have to learn to very skillfully have the client see why they want to change. What difference would it make? Because I'd give anything to lose half my body. I'd give anything to be slim and fit and healthy. I'd give anything to have love. I'd give anything to get pregnant and have a healthy baby. But then when you say, well, I don't want to do that. That's very common. People say, I'd do anything to lose weight except go to the gym and stop eating McDonald's, which is always interesting because it means they wouldn't. But say to me, I'm looking for love. What are you doing? What do you mean? Well, I'm looking for, where are you looking? Oh, well, I go to yoga. Any men there? No, or women? What else? I go to a book club. And men there? Not really. So you're not really looking for love at all. You're using a word. You are looking for love, but you're actively not, because you're not saying, kind of person I want to spend my life with. Where would this person be? And sometimes as a therapist, we're doing really interesting work, calling people out on, I'm looking for love. You're not looking for love at all. I'm doing something. What are you doing? Well, I'm thinking about it. I bought some gym clothes. I haven't been to the gym yet, but I'm coming around with the idea. So we don't send people to sleep. We wake them up to, look, why don't you go and find love now? It's all around you. Go to the gym today. I have a book on trying to get pregnant. So go home and make a baby now. You know, stop waiting and stop saying I'm trying to get pregnant, because the word trying is a misdirect. You'll learn that as a hypnotist. We say, try to open your eyes, find they're locked shut. Try to pull your hands apart, find they're glued together, because the word trying implies failure. People say, I'm trying to get pregnant. No, that very word means you're trying and probably going to fail. So we use a lot of the language of the subconscious mind to really help clients understand that with the best will in the world, they say things like, I'm looking for love. I'm trying to get pregnant. I'm hoping to lose weight. I'm dreaming about, getting a promotion at work. But even those words, wishing, hoping, trying, they all imply failure. And so we help people be much more direct, much more motivated and focused that they're going to go out and do it, not try or hope or wish or dream.
Yeah. And essentially, hypnosis and hypnotherapy, right? What you're really doing with people is giving them permission to actually get the things that they want in life. So everyone's listed out all those negative beliefs, but how about in the comments right now, what are all the most beautiful beliefs that you want to have? What are all the most beautiful beliefs that you can build doing hypnosis on yourself as you're practicing, as you're becoming a practitioner? So if you were to take this program, if you were to become a certified hypnotherapist to help other people, and I guarantee there's 3, 4, 5 people in your life right now that would love for you to do all of your practice sessions with them to help them take on beautiful beliefs. So just list out, what are the most beautiful beliefs that you can program into yourself, that you're going to program into yourself doing self-hypnosis as you practice to become a certified hypnotherapist. Wow, look at some of these beliefs, Marissa. I'm living my purpose and experiencing great abundance. I deserve to reach my full potential. I give value everywhere I go. Money flows to me easily from many sources. As I heal, I will help others. Work can be fun, stress-free, and rewarding. I'm loved and valued. Learning to love myself more. You are love. I'm living my purpose, supporting others, and becoming a magnet for abundance. hope is my compass that guides me into everything.
Nobody wants a perfect therapist. If you go to AA and go, hey, can I be a counselor? Have you had a drinking problem? No. Well, then, no. In AA, you have to have had a drinking problem in order to train to be a counselor, because you can relate. And the same thing, if you go to Narcotics Anonymous, they expect you to have had a drug problem once upon a time, because if you're working in rehab and you're doing counseling with people who've got a drug problem, you better have had one yourself. If you say, no, my life's perfect, I've never anybody, they go, well, you're no good to us at all. So it's, again, one of those rare careers where your own issues, I couldn't find love. I was a single parent. I struggled for years to stop eating candy. I had a problem with drinking. People like it. They go, oh, you had that, and look at you now. It makes them immediately believe in the process and in you taking them through the process, because many people we've trained say, I've got a picture of me before and after. Here's me when I was mainlining cakes and ice creams, and here's me now. Here's me when I was heavier or when I was unhappy. Here's me. In fact, we have a trainer, Tina, one of our head trainers, who's very blonde and glamorous and lovely, but she's got a picture of her with brown hair, probably at least 60 pounds heavier than she is now. And she doesn't even look like the same person. And she said, people love that. They go, well, that was you. She goes, yeah, that was me before I found hypnotherapy. I lost weight. I got a better relationship. I put my kids in private school. So many things happened to me when I learned to help others, because in helping others, of course, I'm helping myself. I'm helping them by doing great work, but I'm helping myself by doing the work on myself. But also, I'm getting really well paid for that great work. So I've got a better house in a better area. And I have that real sense of self. I wake up and go, and her kids go, Mummy, we're so proud of you. Help people all the time. And imagine that your kids are really proud of what you do. Like my little nephew, when he was about 12, had me come to his school and give a talk about sports, because I was working at the time with a very famous football club. And he had me come to the school, and he was so proud, because that's my auntie. And then when he was 18, he had me come to his college to give the same talk again to the school soccer team. And I loved that he was really proud of me because of all the work I do. So imagine that for you. Not only do you do something you're proud of, your community, your kids, your neighbors, your family, your partner, they're proud of you because you do really great work. I mean, it is a job that gives you so much back. I mean, I could tell you why I love being a hypnotherapist so much. Of course, the first thing by a million miles is we're making a difference to people. People turn up broken and they leave unbroken. They leave a different person. They leave happy and smiling and full of confidence. They leave with all the answers. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh, I do now. I was working with a guy who was an alcoholic, and I was saying to him, Brian, you're not broken, but you come from a broken family. You're not even damaged. You were just raised in a very, he said, I never forgot that. He said, I'm not. He said, I always thought I was broken, damaged, because you said, but you're not damaged. You just come from a damaged family, but you're not damaged. And so people leave with a whole reframe of who they are. So that's the best thing about it. But there are other things too. There are very few careers where you can work your own hours from your kitchen table. When you're a therapist, you can work. We've got a girl in Australia, she only sees clients in the Middle East. I don't know why, but she's so popular there. So you can sit at your laptop. I'm sitting now, and I can see a client in Texas, in Atlanta, in Ireland, in France, in Spain, in New Zealand, really anywhere on the planet. It doesn't matter. I was actually working recently on a show in Dubai. I had to get up at 4 a.m. to film it, but I didn't mind. It was so great to be asked. So the second thing is the flexibility. Especially if you're a parent, you can work entirely around your kids' schooling or their activities. And if you have another career, you can work around that. And then the third thing is you set your own fees. You can, I'm going to see 6 clients a day, make a lot of money, or maybe I'm going to see 3 clients a day and make a nice living, but not have that thing. In fact, I worked with a banker who said, this job is killing me. He said, I get up early, I have to put in so many hours. He said, and I make a lot of money. I got no life at all. He said, I'm thinking of being a therapist, and I'm prepared to work for a third of my salary. He said, I'm just so burnt out. I have no joy. It's a real party drinking culture. He said, so I'm prepared to take a massive pay cut And he came and trained with me and he became a hypnotherapist. The most amazing thing is I moved to the country. I got a dog. I got a girlfriend. It's like, oh, this is great. I don't care. But then I began to work with all the burnt out bankers in the bank I worked with. And I started to make the same money I ever made before. But I'm sitting at my kitchen table. People are coming to my house. They'll get on the train and come. I don't go into the city. I'm like, no, I'm in the country now. You come to me. He said, and I'm making exactly the same money. He said, and actually one of my colleagues also left and became a school teacher for the same reason, but I make the money I made before. But I have my girlfriend, I have my dog, I live in the country. It's amazing. It's like my only regret is I wished I'd done it 10 years earlier. So I was so burnt out as a banker. And what's the point of having all that money when you never even get to go out and spend it except on drinking? So I loved that story that many people say, no, I don't even care about the money. I want to make a difference. I want to be in my community doing good stuff. And if I make a lovely salary, that's great. And others go, no, I'm going to have a podcast. I'm going to go on the radio. I'm going to write articles about hypnosis for my local paper. You can really take it as far as you look at someone like Paul McKenna and indeed Tony Robbins, who've taken it so far, and you can do that. Or you can say, no, for me, I'm in my community working with kids that were bullied, working with suicidal teens, working with people who are really unhappy. And it's just amazing. I love it. So I love this. I'm lucky. Everything works out for me. It's a great belief.
Yeah, so many beautiful beliefs. And, I saw one other thing where someone asked, do we need to sort ourselves out before becoming a hypnotherapist? And the answer is, yeah, absolutely not. There's one incredible, more recent session that Marissa did with Megan on YouTube that you can go and see her take her through a very simple hypnotherapy experience that radically changed her life in so many ways.
Wasn't it?
If you have a physical illness, will hypnotherapy help? Absolutely. Hypnotherapy can help with that. It's really looking at the underlying beliefs that may have caused or led to that physical illness. So, I'd love for you to try some self-hypnosis. We have a great Heal Your Body Now hypnosis on YouTube on the Marisa Peer channel that you can go and check out and see what kind of experience you have with that. It's wonderful, wonderful comments and testimonials from people coming out of just doing a pre-recorded session like that. That's more blanket. Someone here is saying that they quickly sabotage themselves on courses. What do you have to say about that, Marissa?
Yeah, sabotage and indeed procrastination, they are nothing more than a fear that you're not enough. That's the biggest thing. One of the things we teach is the 3 things wrong with people. And the biggest thing is, I am not enough. If you come from life with I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, smart enough, interested, educated enough, worthy enough, attractive enough, blah, blah, blah. There's so many ways to be not enough. And of course, you'll sabotage yourself. Of course, you'll procrastinate, but we teach you how to get over that because we're teaching you how to work with clients who procrastinate, self-sabotage. And so when you're learning what works with clients, of course, your first client is yourself. You're going to work on yourself. I mean, everything I worked on, I was told I would be infertile. I have a beautiful child. I was told lots of negative things, particularly about my health, and I worked on myself, and it's been amazing. And so procrastination shows up a lot, self-sabotage, fear of not being good enough, lacking confidence, low self-esteem, low self-worth, low self-image. They all show up. We're training a lot of people. And of course, statistically, 80% of people on our courses, 80% at least, have one of those things wrong with them. Or they're because you're not enough, you need more. If you don't think you're enough, not only do you self-sabotage and procrastinate, you need more food, more alcohol, more cake, more stuff to buy, more followers, more of everything because you don't think you're enough. But we solve that very quickly. And of course, one of the first things we go to, because it's the common denominator of everything wrong with us, indeed all our clients, 80% of us have a big not enoughness. And it's really one of the most wonderful things to fix, because once you fix that, you fix everything. There is no more procrastinating or self-sabotage or eating loads of cakes or staying up all night binging and eating pizza, because suddenly you have this tremendous respect. You start to love your life and love yourself. And it's a lifelong romance that never bores you, and it's a wonderful thing.
Is a long-term eating disorder curable with hypnosis?
Yeah, it certainly is. You certainly would probably need to have about 1 to 3 sessions. I've worked with many, many bulimics, anorexics, people who are really very, very ill indeed, because an eating disorder will take over your entire life. So whether you have body dysmorphia, orthorexia, exercise compulsion, anorexia, or bulimia, all of those can indeed be fixed. We're not allowed to say the word cure for all kinds of reasons, because we don't want to be accused of saying we're, so we say fixed, we don't say cure, we say transformed. We teach you the language, by the way, because it's not okay to say in America, I can cure your eating, but we can say, I can help you fix it. I can work with you to transform it. We understand language, just very careful of using the word cure in certain countries. We can say it in England, funnily enough, they're very liberal here, but you cannot say that in America. But we can absolutely help you fix your own eating disorder, because you weren't born with it, you acquired it. And anything you're not born with, no one's born saying, oh my God, I ate too many cookies, or I'm a compulsive eater. No one's born saying, don't look at me, I don't look right. No one is born rejecting love. There's no such thing, but we learn very quickly how to do all of those things. But the great thing is, if something has been acquired and you weren't born with it, then you can become free of it. And even things you are born with, like say you were born with, any other things we're born with, say you were born with a skin condition, that can happen. Then the skin is the largest organ in the body. It responds very much to your thinking, which is why when you're happy, your skin glows, and when you're stressed, it doesn't look so good. So even things that you are born with, like a skin condition, we can help you tremendously get better. You can improve almost everything. You can use hypnosis to pretty much improve pretty much everything. And that's a wonderful thing. That's why I love it so much. I love it. I'm so lucky, because every day I love what I do, and I do what I love. And not many people get to say that. I do what I love. I love what I do. And the thing about doing what you love, and indeed loving what you do, is actually you never really feel like you're working. It's so interesting. It's so compelling. It's like going to the movies every day and watching something fascinating, but knowing that you get to change the ending, which is really exciting.
What cannot you improve with hypnotherapy?
Gosh, I don't know. If you said to me, can you hypnotize me to be a brain surgeon? Someone said to me, can you hypnotize me to be a famous actor? I said, well, I could give you the motivation to be a famous actor. You still have to go to acting school. You still have to go to auditions. You've got to put yourself out there. I think a lot of people think I can just hypnotize myself to be really, really successful. To be successful, you have to do 3 things. You have to, first of all, spend a bit of time going, I deserve this, I'm worth it. That's probably the most important thing, because 80% of your success is mindset. On the course, it's so exciting to see what you can do, that you get that mindset. Wow, look, I can do this and I can do that, and I could help somebody with that. People go, I'm just going to help everybody. It's very exciting. It gives you the mindset. The second thing is you have to look at what you really, really, really want. And then hypnosis gives you the power to go out and get it. So I've worked with many Olympic athletes. I worked with a famous football club who broke every record. But I couldn't make them famous footballers. I could make them really be passionate about training or believing in themselves, having confidence. And they got into the Premier League. And then they went, oh my God, now we're in the Premier League. Next week, we were playing Chelsea, then we're playing Man United, then we're playing Man City. So that was still a bit nerve-wracking for them to come from nowhere. And I had to hypnotize them again to have the courage to go, you're as good as them. In fact, you're probably even better than them. And they stayed at number 4 in the Premier League for, I think, about 6 months. They made history all over the world, because you can do pretty much anything. You know, I had a baby under hypnosis. I had a tooth removed under hypnosis. I'd done lots of amazing things. People have broken world records under hypnosis. You'll hear any Olympic panel will tell you that only athletes who can use visualization will ever make it to the Olympics. If you don't visualize as an athlete, you are so far behind those that do. Visualization doesn't give you the skill to be an athlete. It gives you the edge to be an even better athlete, because you do just a bit more. So I couldn't hypnotize someone to be a boxer, but I've hypnotized many boxers to really go in the ring with phenomenal self-belief and believe they are undefeatable. And so it's very exciting. You never told me about your foot, Skip, when I hypnotized you with your foot.
Yeah, so I was in a speaker dance-off dancing for the Buddhist monk who trained the cast of Doctor Strange. And I was dressed up as Gandalf from Lord of the Rings on a slippery dance floor in Jamaica and broke my foot in 3 places, my ankle. They recommended I get 2 different surgeries, 2 rods, and a bunch of screws in my foot. I didn't do it. I went to Marissa. I walked on the foot for a week and then went to Marissa, and she did this completely wild hypnosis experience with me. And I went from limping to not limping. So I don't know if the bones healed or what happened, but it was like 15 minutes in like the top level of the home that she was staying in right off Abbot Kinney Boulevard in Los Angeles. And I just suddenly stopped limping. So I don't know how to describe that.
I'll
Results change from person to person.
It's the body is innately healing. If you cut your hand, it will heal itself. It will heat up and kill off infection, and bones know how to fuse together. So all I was doing was commanding Skip's body to heal itself, to speed up the healing using particular language, talking about the bones in the foot. And there are little bone cells that look like snowflakes, and they land and they help your body grow new, healthy bones. I was doing something quite biological. I was commanding the bones in his foot to heal fast, but also to heal perfectly. And it was really, I've done it many times, and it was really, really effective. I did, and then I got run over in December. I had to do it on my own leg because I was told it would take me 6 months to walk again. And actually, I walked in 6 weeks because I couldn't bear 6 months. It was too boring. But it is amazing. You see, healing is self-healing. I was really using Skip's imagination. I wasn't healing him. I was using his imagination. He was healing him. I was just the person who told his mind how to do it in a way that was fast, but safe and very effective too. Hypnosis doesn't send you to sleep. It wakes you up. You will not go to sleep, but you'll definitely wake up to your amazing potential. And here's the great thing. Your potential expands as you move towards it. You can never know ever what your potential is, because you get to it, it expands and expands again and again and again. And once your mind moves to a new dimension, it never, ever, ever goes back. So when you have that new dimension of thinking like a therapist, like I watched stuff, like I watched the documentary on Amy Winehouse, but I watched it as a therapist. I watched the movie Blonde about her as a therapist. I'm always looking at things as a therapist. It makes life so much more interesting, thinking, oh yeah, that happened because of that, and that's going to happen now. Because once you move to that new dimension, you never go back. And it's really an amazing, amazing career. We'd love to have you. Probably the best thing you'll ever do. So if you can, come and join us, because we would love to have more of you. We'd love having more and more of us. So thank you all, and come and join us in the best job in the world. Check out my next video here.